So let's go ahead and create this sketch and look at a couple of variations like this. So I'll close out, click on the close window button and no save. And then I'll go and open a new metric part file. And so the critical thing here is when I go up to rectangle by center, that I click right on that yellow dot and I see the little end point. So I click on the axis center and I just draw a rectangle. Then I draw another one, make sure it's on the end point. So I just draw a couple of rectangles. I'm going to draw some lines, one corner to the next. And to get out of that command, remember I simply right mouse click and I can start a new line, endpoint to endpoint. And again, you can see the little symbol when you're at the endpoint, right mouse click to get out. So I just add those lines. Now I would like to look at this square on, so I'm going to go down and click on the front view for the orientation. And let's just exercise this to make sure it does move. If I click on the line, I grab the corner, I can see how that moves around. Whichever, you can actually turn this inside out. Do all sorts of things with that. So I'm just going to put it back close to where it is, and I know that works. And the first constraint I'd like to use is collinear. And I'd like to make this collinear to this. Now you'll note I'm not seeing the constraints. So I'm going to go up here where it says relationship handles and turn those on. And so now I can see that line is collinear. Now visually that does not look collinear. So I can go and just check from the bottom corner to the top. Yep, that's absolutely collinear. It's on the same line. So I'll just hit the select button again, go up and start drawing some more geometry here. So I'm going to go to about there, back to the center, midpoint, up here to here. Now one thing I forgot to do, I want to go back to collinear and make this collinear to this. And then I'll finish off on the base here. I'll go right at the end point and I'll just go to the midpoint and create some more geometry there. Now I'd like to mix up these constraints. The first ones I could use is the horizontal vertical, and right at the end point I could say I want this to line up with this and I want this to line up with this. And then if I exercise this, which is a good idea to make sure it still moves, I'll grab the bottom this time. See how that, now it's doing some weird things there. See how the lines are all over the place? So I'll pull it out sort of back to where it was. And so what I need to do is either use the parallel constraint or the equal constraint. And on the top, let's just use the parallel. I would like this line to be parallel to this line. And then I'd say I'd like this line to be parallel to this line. Now, it looks like this moved off the endpoint right there. This is the sort of thing that happens. So I'm going to go up here to connect. And so I'd like to connect. I'll get that endpoint and I want to connect it right to that corner and makes that adjustment. Again, if I go back and exercise this and just pick on the line at the base there, I can see how that moves around really nicely. So that's actually doing everything I want.